Well, a lot of these decisions are decisions that are very quick and they don't matter a ton, right? So like you're in a restaurant with your friend and you're having a great conversation and you're like looking at the menu and you have to order and you're like, oh, maybe one of those two things. And you haven't decided. And then the conversation comes and then the waiter comes and what do you want? And you're like, and like, there's no time to be like, I'm going to deliberate it. You're just like, I'll have this one and you pick one. So a lot of the decisions that I think are free choices in this sort of tied way are little decisions, but then there can be big decisions. So suppose that you are living in a city that you love, but you hate your job. And then you get this job offer in this place you don't want to move to, but it's like your dream job and you've got a week to decide. And so you're trying to decide between this dream job in the city you don't want to live in and your dream city and the job you don't like. And so it's hard and they look like equal to you. And you've got a week to decide and you're thinking about it. So like, you know, as a philosopher, I think I'm doing the same thing everyone else does is I'm like weighing pros and cons. Like what's better? What's good here? What like there's value, there's pleasure and pain, right? There's good value and negative value. Like, oh, this job is going to be good, but I'm going to be living, I'm not going to have any friends. I don't know anyone there. So you're thinking all of these thoughts. And I think, maybe I'm wrong, but all of this is an attempt to make it not tied. You're trying to make it, you're trying to think about whether one of them is actually better than the other. Yeah, just even a little bit, right? That's the whole point. You're writing down the pros and cons and you're trying to see like, maybe by thinking about this, I can make this be the easy decision so that a computer could do it. And the days are ticking by and maybe it starts seeming like that and then it goes back. And then all of a sudden, like the deadline's at noon and it's 11:30 and now they start seeming tied. And now it's 5 to 12 and you have to call the person now. And you've done all of this thinking through that like the philosopher does and the critical thinker does, and you've failed to move them off of a tie. And in this moment, even though this is a huge decision, I feel like there's nothing the philosopher can add to this. The thing you have to do is just pick one. You just have to just pick. Or, I mean, if you are a believer in free will, it's not you're leaving it to the muses. It's just like the buck stops with me. I've got to do it. I've got to pick one or the other, and I don't have a good reason to. And so I've just got to pick one and like own that decision and make it mine. And I don't think there's anything, if you've done your work and you've failed to make it anything but a tie, there's nothing to do but pick at this point, because you have to pick. You can't just sit there because you're going to lose the job if you do that. Sitting there is to decide not to take the job.